Yes.
Right, and today we're joined by the legendary singer from the 90s, 준일님. Welcome to the studio. 안녕하세요.
안녕하세요. Thank you for inviting me.
Oh my god, honored to have you here. 진짜 영광입니다.
Oh, thank you so much.
진짜, you know, I've never seen a 대선배 that's so humble and nice.
Yeah.
진짜 소문대로 되게 성격 좋으시니까 우리 마음 되게 편해졌어요, 사실은.
After we met him. Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
걱정했거든요. Like, what if it's a 건데, you know?
You speak English as well, though, right?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Actually, speaking in English is maybe more comfortable for me.
아, 그래요?
Oh,
Yeah,
really?
yeah.
Well, for our English listeners, then, do you want to introduce yourself formally in English
Right.
as well?
Okay. My name is Yang Junil. I debuted in 1991. And I've been struggling as an artist, and only recently, now that I had, given up on my dream of becoming an artist, did my fans call me back through the program Sugarman.
Right.
And it's been just like a dream since, right? And I want to thank everybody, and I call my fans my queens and kings.
Queens
because,
and kings.
Yeah, absolutely, because they are the ones that protect me. They are my the ground that I stand on.
Oh.
Yeah, and so without them, I don't really consider myself an artist. I mean, I stopped trying to even be an artist, right? But because my kings and queens, they call me an artist.
Right.
They say he is the artist, right? He is an artist, and so I'm becoming that whom they call me to be, right? And that's an honor. And we can't do any of this by ourselves, right?
Wow.
And without my queens and kings, I'm just a server at a restaurant, right? And now, but I get to serve you guys with, sharing our joys and pains through music
and performances.
Yeah, and so I'm really honored, and it's like every day, just I'm enjoying every moment, and I get to meet great people like Kev and Alex, right? And I get to be invited on these incredible shows, right? And so I'm just great to be here, and I want to thank you from the bottom of my heart. Just my queens and kings, I thank you.
너무 시작부터 inspiration.
Seriously, what's going on?
I know.
I mean, I've seen all of your videos online. 근데 이제 영어로 하는 거는 처음 보게 된 거예요.
네.
Yeah, have you been on an English radio station before?
No,
right.
never. Yeah.
아, 이렇게 잘할 줄 몰랐어요.
Honestly, I'm a little starstruck right now because I did not know, you're so tall and 진짜 피부 관리도 잘하시니까요. I'm so surprised, like, wow, 샤바. There's that like 대선배 aura on him.
Well, we had a message before you came in
man.
that said you were the Terry Woods of back then.
Oh,
Exactly.
yeah.
Do you agree with that?
I mean, just there was a lot of. I wasn't popular at the time, right?
really?
Yeah, no, I really wasn't. I mean, like when I would go on stage, I would just look on the floor because if I look into the audience, I get that look like, what's he doing here?
are you?
You know what I mean?
yeah.
So I would kind of shrivel up and I won't be able to perform, right? And so I would just look into somewhere else, and I would never look into the audience, and then I would perform like that, and then so it kind of became a habit where I don't look people in the eye, or I just look down somewhere else, and but nowadays, as I matured and just I had to empty out a lot of my thought process. The voice in our heads that keep talking.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And you can't stop it, right? And you
맞아.
gotta step back, and because you are not your thoughts, right?
Yeah.
You are the one who's observing your thoughts, and we tend to just listen to our thoughts, and our thoughts keep hitting us.
Dominating us.
And dominating us, trying to kill us.
맞아,
You know what I
맞아.
mean? And saying you're not this, you're not that, and you don't have to be anything. You know what I mean? I could, I'm the same person that was serving, right?
Sure.
I could be working at a, fast food restaurant, or I could be doing this. I'm the same person, and you know what I mean. And I think if we could see beyond our foolish thoughts and see what's inside us, which is eternal, right? Then we are just beautiful to each other and to everybody, right?
That's so deep. Oh my
아니
goodness.
방금 라디오 PD님이 좀 한국어 해석도 부탁드린다고 하는데 이게 너무 심오하고 너무
This is
철학적이어서
very 철학적이에요.
제가 어떻게 한국어로 이걸
그
변할게요.
간단하게 말씀하시면
네,
그냥 머릿속에 있는 소리는 너무 신경 쓰지 말고 그래야 we can have an 아름다운 관계 with everybody.
Well, it's
Is
deeper
it?
than that, I think.
Right, it's much deeper than
Yeah,
that.
so you've been struggling with this, I'm sure, for a long time, not just now in Korea, but ever since the 90s into your 10-year break before you came back in the early 2000s.
Right.
It must have been a huge, long journey for you.
Right. And it's like you think you are your thoughts. And that's the biggest problem. Right. And it keeps talking to you and talking to you and you can't stop it. Right. And then like you lose sleep.
Right.
Oh,
You know what I
no,
mean?
right.
And then like when you do fall asleep,
right.
which is very actually, like they say that when we fall asleep, why do we sleep? Right? Is it to recover or whatever? Right? But
right.
they say that we actually burn the same amount of calories as we
While
are sleeping,
sleeping,
even though
right.
we're awake. It's the same, right? It's not
Right,
necessarily recovery from our physical needs, right? I
Right.
think when
Your
we sleep,
brain-
it shuts down that constant voice.
Right.
And without that, I mean, if that never stopped, we would just die.
Right, that's
You know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah.
And so when we wake up,
Mm-hmm.
it's like a brand new day and a brand new start, right? And the problem is we keep saying, what was I thinking last night? Oh yeah, I was mad about that. That's right, I'm angry. You know what I mean? And we lose
forget
our
about
way
it.
again,
Right.
right? And unless we realize that that's going on, you can't stop it.
Right.
Right.
That's so true.
Yeah, and so I think that we need to like put ourselves, into a mental state that where we can become, you know what? I'm not, like for example, like when I say, "Hey, it's nice to meet you," can you introduce yourself or whatnot?
Right.
Like first thing we say is, "Oh, I'm a teacher or I'm a lawyer," or that's,
Sure.
that's what we
Right.
do. That's not what we are.
Right.
Right?
Right.
And so we got to step back and say, we are that eternal being that exists in this body, right? And if we can just realize that and see beyond the physical, right? Then I think we could see the beauty in every one of us and we can just get, just enjoy each other's energy and just love one another.
Right. I'm already enjoying the energy from you, 진짜. That's why you even got a message from 4395 saying, "Gosh, finally Yang Jun is on the show. He's such a role model of me. Never have known anyone this beautiful in and out. Go JIY, love you too much."
Thank you
진짜
so much.
인정해요.
Thank-
But we do have to play your songs as well
Okay.
before we run out of time. The first one is Rebecca.
All right.
Everybody knows this song.
This is your debut song?
Yes, that's right.
Yes, from
Right.
1991.
That's
right?
correct.
How did it feel coming to Korea and doing this?
Very much mixed emotions. I didn't like the song.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
But everybody knows Rebecca.
Right, and it wasn't the title song from the album, right?
Ah.
My first title song was called The Winter Wanderer. And that song, I tried to push that song, and then like there was a program where they said, hey, everybody has to do a dance song.
Ah.
Right? It was called the 병아리 show, which is like the chick chick
right.
show, right?
Right.
And so everybody had to come out. Everybody had to shorten their music to 2 minutes, and everybody had to do a dance song. So the only dance song I had that I could do was
Rebecca.
right? And then so I did that song, and then when I was leaving the TV station, like people were knocking on my door, like on the car window, saying Rebecca, 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 right? I'm like, no, that's not my name.
Rebecca.
my name is Yang Junil, right? No, you're Rebecca. I'm like, no, I'm Yang Junil. But that's how it started.
Sure.
Yeah, and so we can't see. I can't see beyond this wall.
Oh.
I cannot see beyond like next 10 minutes. I don't know what's gonna happen, right?
Right.
And so we really don't know what's gonna happen in our lives. And I think Rebecca is another example of that, right?
Right.
I had no expectations for Rebecca, and yet it became my, go-to song and
Your hit song.
Yeah, it became like my card that represents me. You know,
Right.
who are like you give a business card, right?
Right,
And it says-
right.
and it tells you who I am, right?
맞아요.
You know what I mean?
양준이, oh, you mean Rebecca?
Yeah, right. It's
Everybody.
like so intertwined with me now, right?
Right.
Yeah.
So I'm enjoying that now. But in the beginning, I really didn't like the song.
Interesting. I'm enjoying the off-air talk, by the way, guys.
Yeah.
너무 좋아.
He's a
It's
guru.
like 준일 선배님 상담소.
Right.
Anyway, we've actually a lot of messages here. 9401 said, 내 스타, 내 가수, 내 오빠 양준이 못 알아들어도 너무 좋아요. DJ 두 분도 너무 친절하시고 좋네요. 감사합니다.
Right. Yes. I don't really understand says 9401, but it's still very nice to listen.
Right.
아니 사실 영어를 잘 해도 it's been a very deep conversation just from
맞아요.
the get-go, off air as well.
It's definitely inspiring a lot of our foreign listeners.
Yeah, but we have to 한국말도 좀 시켜야 되니까 혹시 다음 문자 읽어주시겠어요?
어떤 거요?
5589.
89 준일 오빠 영어 방송 처음이라 신났다. 네 맞아요 진짜 신났어요. DJ들 긴장하세요.
네.
말할 시간 없을 수도 있어요.
Oh, well, really?
Well, that's what I said off air. I was like, 양준일님, just lead the conversation.
맞아요. 그 솔직히 DJ, you know, like for as a radio show, 항상 똑같은 뻔한 질문 많이 물어보잖아요. We always
네.
ask the same thing. What's your album? What's next? How's life? How? So I mean, I love this kind of talk. Actually,
Right.
it really helps us also.
Yes, yes. For listeners who may be learning though about your English name is John, I think, right?
Yeah, well, actually, I have a couple of English names,
Oh, a
right?
couple. Okay.
Yeah, so John is one of them,
Uh-huh.
and then the other one is Junil Yang and
JIY.
JIY is Jai.
Jai. Ah, so before it was not JIY, it was Jai.
Oh, it was no, yeah. So it was. I mean, I shrank my name to Jai, right? JIY, right?
Right,
right.
Yeah, because I was. I mean, I wanted to. At the time, I was Yang Junil, and then I wanted to give myself a name that I wanted to be.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? So
Oh.
I gave myself a name, and I created an image for that name, and I try to be that person.
Right.
And I started that by creating a new name for myself,
And that was
Jai.
Jai.
Was it a time when your hair was short?
Well, you know, when I came to Korea,
Right.
it was long,
Uh-huh.
and then I had to get a cut because the TV station said you cannot go on TV with long hair.
What?
Yeah.
진짜? 옛날에 안 됐었어요?
네,
Oh my God.
옛날에 it was a problem back then,
But
right?
that's your signature, long hair.
Yeah.
My goodness, they make you cut your hair.
Yeah,
guess
they
so.
make you cut your hair.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
So, you know, even when I was like growing up, my parents would make me cut my hair too, right? So, like, I would grow my front hair. They said, get rid of that hair. So I would cut it. I would grow my long back hair. And then they would say, get rid of that. I would grow my side hair. You know,
Typical Asian
whatever.
moms
You know
and
what I mean?
dads,
Yeah.
right.
So, but anyway, just, you know, trying to do what I wanted to do.
Right.
Yeah.
Mhm. Right.
And then so I try to go, you know, and then especially when I had my baby,
Uh-huh.
right? And like the pressure of being a dad, like, you know, before, like, you hear about these dads that run away after they have a kid
Right.
and stuff. I never understood why. But when I felt that pressure,
Right.
it was like, I was like, oh my God, now I understand why people would want to run away, right?
Sure.
Because that, it's like, to be able to, when you can't afford to like support your kid, it drives you crazy.
I'm sure. Yeah.
It's like you're choking. You can't sleep at night.
Right,
You know,
right.
and there was a time when like when I was switching jobs and I literally from my debit card I had $1.
Oh my God.
Wow.
I had $1 in cash and I was looking for coins under the sofa
Yeah.
to buy last bottle of milk
Right.
for my baby.
You were in the States. back
Yeah,
then.
this was when I was in the States, and then that's when I switched jobs. On the process of switching jobs, right? And so like you are so stressed because the
Yeah.
pressure is so high, right?
Right.
And you just you don't you abuse yourself. Saying, what's wrong with me?
Right.
But you hear that voice, what's wrong with you? You know, what's wrong with you? And then you start looking back on your life and like, man, if I had done this differently, maybe I would not be in this position, right?
Right.
But then, you know, you look back and you have 20/20 vision, but
Sure.
at the time you make the best decision you can,
Mm-hmm.
right? And so I can't look back when I make a decision today, right?
Right.
And so I do the best I can, and I leave it up to life to just take me to where I'm
Yeah.
going.
아, 신기하다.
Yeah,
애
yeah.
아빠 되고 싶은데 저는.
Oh, really?
I always dream about one day, someday I'm gonna be a dad, but I guess the pressure is actually very more than I thought. Actually.
Yeah.
Yeah, it is more than you, but the love is more than you think. Also,
Oh.
right? Like, I always kind of say it's like, it's almost like a drug. You don't know what it is until you actually experience it, right?
We
But
don't know.
once you
Yeah.
do, you can't let it go.
Right.
And it's like you exist for another reason.
That's what I heard. Once you have a kid, your kid is like the whole center of universe.
Yeah.
How old is
Right.
your son now? Or
he's
yeah.
he's 7.
So what does he think when he sees like 아빠 TV에서 보고 봐 어떤
He has no concept of
Really?
somebody coming out on TV or whatnot, you know.
길이 아직 아빠 리베카가 누구예요?
No. He has no like when I practice, I'll try to practice singing at home. He was like, no, be quiet, no, no.
진짜?
Yeah.
Really?
Like he's the only one that's allowed to sing in the house.
does he have that kind of key? Does he
Oh
dance
my God,
and sing?
yeah,
He
he's
does.
got it. I mean, like he's got it in just incredible, right?
Wow.
He's got a voice that never goes coarse. You know?
와 기대된다.
And he's got like key up the yin yang, right?
It's gonna be a JIY junior. Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so he's got long hair just like me,
Oh,
right?
he did. I
Oh,
was about to ask you
really?
that.
Yeah.
아 진짜?
Yeah. And he looks like me and he looks more like me every day,
Right,
right?
right.
And it's funny when you see a little, like when you have a kid, and I think the most important thing is you have to be able to see yourself in the kid.
The mini me.
Yeah. And then you just like the connection is something you can't put into words.
Right.
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 No matter how bad a parent is, believe me, he's doing or she's doing all they can. You know what I mean? To take care of that kid. And it becomes like you get a calling for beyond yourself.
Sure.
Yeah, and that's
responsibility.
really hard to experience without having a kid.
I'm sure.
Right.
Yeah, we don't know. We don't know
맞아.
yet.
아직은-
We'll have to wait a little bit.
I'll call you one day when I become a dad.
Yeah, wait. Wait as long as you can.
여자 만나야지 먼저.
Yes, we're going to listen to another one of your songs. I believe this is from your second album.
Okay.
We'll listen to Dance With Me 아가씨 and be back in hour number 2. 30년 전 GD라는 이분 오늘 K-라이드에서 나오신 건 실화인가요?
I
양준일님
know.
혹시 실제로도 GD와 만나서 이야기 나눠보셨는지 궁금하네요.
Oh, 아니요. I've never met him.
No,
Not
no.
yet.
What do you think of the comparisons when you hear about those?
They call you the 90s G-Dragon, right?
I mean, I think it's a compliment,
Oh, of course.
right?
yeah.
So I appreciate it. And but I really don't know GD that well.
Yeah.
Right.
So I can't say, hey, I think we have this kind of common
And your
denominator or
musical
whatnot.
inspirations are probably very different, right?
Yeah,
Right.
different, completely different generation, right?
Right.
And,
Exactly.
And I was like, the songs that I listened to that I liked was very lyric based songs.
Right,
You
right.
know that lyrically, I had to be able to listen to it over and over again.
Right,
Right.
right.
And those are the kind of songs that I liked.
Yeah,
Right.
I see more of a parallel to like Michael Jackson or a lot of more of these like dance,
맞아요.
New Jack Swing artists and things like that.
맞아요.
More messages.
Right. 40656 say 준이 오빠님 따라서 라디오를 들어오니 반가운 케빈 오님 계시네요. 너무 반가워요. 초대해 주셔서 감사하고 오늘 신곡 많이 틀어주세요. 그리고 케빈 오님도 방송에서 많이 뵙고 싶네요.
Oh, thank you.
my
Came in to
Korean
see
part.
Jai and saw me as well.
Right.
Do you want to get this one from 6680? It's the next one.
6680.
Yeah.
오케이. 양준일 형님 나오신다고 해서 들어왔어요. 신곡 What is that?
틀어주세요.
들어주세요.
Right.
Right.
처음 듣는 채널인데 앞으로 자주 들으러 올게요. 약속.
Yes.
감사합니다.
Wants to hear your newest songs. You have a new album out called Day by Day, right?
Yes.
Exactly. Tell us about it. Because
Yeah.
I heard the song and I really actually, my favorite one is actually Alibi.
Alibis.
Oh.
Okay.
I like that one.
Yeah. Day by day, I think because of our current situation around the world, I think, like when we're really busy, it seems like just something's happening because of the business, right? But when everything slows down, we take it day by day,
Right.
right?
Right.
And you're like thinking, oh my God, how am I gonna get through the month, or how am I gonna get through this week? How am I gonna get through the day, right? And I think like at points like this, we need each other to say, hey, you know what? Because we feel like we're all alone.
Right.
You know what I mean? And it should be like, you know what? We're in this together, and we need to get through this together, right? I'm in pain, you're in pain, and when we share the pain, it lightens up a lot.
Right.
Right.
Yeah.
And I think that's important. And so that's why I called it Day by Day,
Day by day.
right? And because we are living day by day right now.
Right.
And with the song Alibis, Alibis was something that like I wrote the lyrics to it like in 40 minutes.
Really? Only 40 minutes?
Yeah, I took my kid to get something. My wife had taken him to the outlet, and I was sitting in the car, and I had just gotten the song from Val, my producer, and I was listening to it, and it was just like I just started writing while I was in the car,
Wow.
and before they came back, I was done.
Wow. 30분 동안 쇼핑밖에 안 했구나.
Yeah, and so it just came really naturally, and there was a lot of like rumors going around about me.
Oh,
and-
really?
yeah, at the time, and then I was like, it was all just basically lies.
Sure,
right? And they were saying, oh, we got witnesses saying this and that and stuff
Right.
like that. And they came out so strong. Like people were like, could this be true? Right. And so
Right.
I'm saying, even though they have an alibi or
Right.
they have a witness, it's all lies.
Sure.
You know
Yeah.
what I mean? It sounds like poetry,
Uh-huh.
but it's just poison.
Right.
You know,
Right.
they say they have rhapsody, but there's no truth.
Yeah, you wrote all the lyrics, or most of the lyrics to this
All the
album.
lyrics
All the
to-
lyrics, right? And
Wow.
I really like it how you combine English and Korean together in a lot of the songs.
Yeah.
Right.
But yeah, he gets really deep and philosophical.
We have a
about
message
it.
from
Sure.
Rebecca Sonny actually saying that 양준이 Alibi's 노래 최고. 양준이님 Day by Day Let's Dance 대박 기원합니다.
감사합니다.
Right. So your title song is actually Let's Dance. Right?
Yeah, Let's Dance, right?
Right.
And even that, it's talking about like the Korean version and the English version is quite different, right? In the English version, I'm talking about like just trying to like me like staring at you so hard, you start to sweat.
Are you sweating? Are you sweating?
Oh,
Yeah.
I am sweating actually.
아까도 I had to take off my jacket. So I was sweating a little bit. Yeah.
Like I'm so focused in you, you start laughing. I'm so focused on you, you're the one that says, "Come on." Right? Yeah, and so and I think right now we gotta focus on each other. You know what I mean? Because we're always focused on something else.
Right.
Right. Handphone or something else.
Yeah, right. And so like like especially I feel this when I'm with my kid, and he'll say, "Hey, daddy, let's go do this or whatnot." I'm like, "Okay, do that," and I'm like on my phone like watching, right? I'm there, but I'm not there.
Sure.
You know what I mean? And so I gotta learn to. I try to learn this. I gotta learn this lesson every day. I gotta put my phone down. I gotta focus on my kid and see what he's doing, because as he's playing, even though he could play by himself, he's always looking to see if daddy's looking.
Right. Checking.
Right? Yeah. And like we tell our kids, hey, focus. You know what I mean?
Right.
As they get older, but they don't know what that means because they've never seen it.
Oh, wow, that's so deep.
Right? So if I show him what focus is by looking at him as he's playing, whatever he's doing, right? like if I'm like, like he loves it when I just like scratch his back,
Mm-hmm.
But then like if I'm like looking at my phone and I'm scratching his back like this, he's gonna know the difference. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
Yeah. And so just for me to show him what focus is, I gotta show it to him.
So really, the title is "Let's Dance," but it's actually about being present,
Yeah.
being focused on the other person,
Right.
And if the chance arises, you dance together. Is that
Right.
What it is?
And so the Let's Dance is like now what I'm saying now in the Korean version, it kind of covers both sides of it. So in the Korean version, it says 아픔도 날 버렸어.
네.
Right? So even pain has, thrown me
Left
away.
me,
Right? 아픔도 날 버렸어. 외로움이 뭐야? What is loneliness? Right?
Yeah.
I mean, because loneliness has become like my best friend now.
Sure. Yeah.
Right?
Is it me? Right.
Yeah, what does it mean to be lonely? I only know, that's all I know now, right? And it says 오랫동안 기다렸어. I've waited so long, right? 모든 것을 줄 거야. I'm gonna give you all I've got.
Right.
눈물 나누면서, right? Sharing our tears, our pains together, right?
Uh-huh.
우리에겐 남아 있어. We still have something. And what is that? 우리에겐 남아 있어 서로가.
Oh,
Right?
Each
Right.
other.
Yeah, we have each other. So just in that fact alone, let's dance.
Oh, your lyrics are actually really deep.
And I love
Sure.
how it's different from the English perspective and the Korean perspective, but ultimately they point at the same thing.
Correct.
Right.
Yeah.
Exactly.
We need each other, and it's like when we don't have each other, like even pain throws you away. Loneliness, what is
What
that
is
now?
loneliness? We don't even
Yeah,
know
what is
anymore.
that? If we're not feeling it, that means it just become a part of us now.
Oh, 찔렸어.
Right?
I knew that. 진짜
And
외로운.
so like because of SNS and because of this current situation, we're being separated, right?
Right.
And we can't. I mean, we can exist, but we can't live like that.
Right.
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 So I think we need to like start sharing, and we need to start saying, hey, you know what? Like we were talking about, 요즘에 고민이 뭐냐고, right?
맞아요.
Yeah.
Those are off-air talk, right?
Right? And I think our go민 is, it's not like how am I gonna pay rent? It should be more based on how are we gonna love one another,
Oh.
right? Because like, I hear like, especially in Korean culture, they don't express it, especially verbally, they don't.
맞아요.
I love you.
사랑해 이런 거
Right.
안
네,
하잖아요.
사랑한다는 단어를 잘 안 쓰잖아요, right? And so they're like, oh, you know what? I should have told my mom or my dad that I love them before they passed away,
right.
And but now, so like every time I'm on the air, I'm like telling my queens and kings, I love him, I love you, right? Because
Yeah.
when I have this chance, I want to say it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And so I think that's what everybody's looking for. Right? If we take everything out of this world, right, and we're the only one left, we're not worrying about rent, we're not worrying about what clothes we're gonna wear, what car we're gonna drive. We just want one thing. I just want somebody to talk to,
Right.
somebody I can have a relationship with.
Right.
To
Right.
love and be
Yeah.
loved. Yes.
Exactly, to
Right.
love and to be loved, right? I mean, without that, everything else becomes meaningless.
Sure.
Right?
You know, your words are so deep. 진짜, this is like 준일교. 되게, 와, 딥하다.
What is that?
준일교, like the religion of JIY.
I see, I see.
This is just, I think everybody knows this.
Right,
Right?
right.
But we're caught up in the race.
맞아요.
It's hard to vocalize.
Yeah.
about it.
Right?
Yeah.
And so I think we need to step back and I just wanted to be able to share my pain first of all through the album. Right? And my fans and my queens, they listen to my songs and they all, a lot of times they say, I keep crying when I hear your songs and stuff right now. Because they're crying because I'm expressing something that they feel so deeply. Right?
Right.
And so that's our common denominator. Right? It's the
Yes.
pain.
Right.
공감할
right.
수 있는 노래.
Yeah.
So that's where it starts with, or starts from, but it goes through this journey. And I mean, ultimately, Let's Dance. There's a lot of joy in that phrase.
Absolutely, right?
Yeah,
so we
so-
have each other
Uh-huh.
and we still have time.
Right.
So let's dance.
Yeah.
Right.
Thanks
All right.
to you now on our YouTube page.
Oy.
Everybody sings 사랑해, 사랑해, 사랑해. I love you. Oh, full of love here.
We love you too.
Yeah, absolutely. And you know what? We gotta get used to saying it. I love you.
맞아요.
I love you. Right? And because what else is there in life? we're looking for something,
Yes.
right?
Yeah.
And we're saying, everybody is looking for love. Everybody's looking for freedom.
Mhm.
Everybody's looking for wisdom. Everybody wants to avoid pain,
Mhm.
right? Everybody's looking for those same things, and in the core of it, like to put all those things together, it's love, and it's hard to define.
Right.
Right? It's like if I, say, hey, Kev, can you get me something from the next room? And you're like, what is it? I'm like, that thing of a jig, that koshiki, get me that koshiki, right? And you're like, you got to tell me what it is. I can't guess.
So you got to talk about it more.
Yeah, you know what I mean? We got to talk about it, right? And
부끄러움 없이,
yeah, otherwise we'll never get there, right? Because it's so hidden, right? Because everybody says, get me the love from the next room. You're like, I don't know what love looks like.
Sure.
Right,
Yeah.
right.
You know what I mean?
Uh-huh.
And so,
Right.
yeah.
Right. Yeah.
Anyway.
Interesting. 너무 좋아.
So touching, so deep, and we're gonna talk more with Yang Junwoo. He's gonna be here for a little bit more, but we're gonna have to listen to this new song.
Of course, this is one of his latest songs. This is Let's Dance.
All right, so we are running out of time, to be honest. We've talked about so many things today in the studio with Yang Junil.
Right.
But I'm curious now, moving forward, what your plans are, what your mentality is like these days.
Right.
Because I'm sure, having come back here from after being a server, you must be thankful for everything that you have. And
Absolutely.
your album's called Day by Day, so you're doing everything
Right.
one step at a time. But what are, I guess, the next steps for you that you're thinking?
I'm so appreciative about the fact that my queens and kings have just accepted my album, and because this is my fourth album, right? And my first three never had this kind of response, right?
Oh.
And just and I'm really glad that I put this album out, and the fact that I was able to put it out. This is not a good time to put out an album.
Sure, yeah.
The pandemic.
Yeah, right.
Right.
And then like my fans were like, we got the door, we're gonna hold it open, just do it.
Right, right.
You know what I mean? And I was
Yeah.
just like, really? And they're like, we're with you, right?
Oh,
You call them your support group somewhere.
Well,
saw,
I
yeah.
call them my Jenny.
Jenny.
Well, because
Not
I,
Rebecca, but Jenny.
no, because have you seen the movie Forrest Gump?
Yes, Jenny. Yeah.
Yeah. So I call myself Gump,
Uh-huh.
and
Run.
they are my Jenny,
Ah.
right? Because in the movie,
Jenny,
Forrest.
Jenny keeps running away though. and goes
No,
to
in the
different people.
beginning, like Forrest, he gets on the school bus,
Yes,
right?
yes.
And
Right.
he's an oddball. He's
Right.
got nowhere to. Nobody wants him.
Right.
They're like, you can't sit next to me. No, you can't sit next to me. And so he's
Seat's taken.
standing in the back like this. And then Jenny says, you could sit next to me, right? And they become, best friends, right?
Right.
Yeah.
And nobody understands Gump, but Jenny sees him as this, good friend, right? And Gump doesn't really know what's going on in Jenny's life,
Right.
And Jenny is one of those people who can just disappear into society and she could fit in anywhere,
Right.
right? But in reality, she can't fit in anywhere, just like Gump.
Oh, that's true. Yeah.
Right? And so she comes back, and Gump has always been waiting for her, right? And then she keeps leaving because she feels like she's not good enough for Gump. But Gump, she's like, actually, you're all I have.
Yeah.
Right.
You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
Yeah.
And so finally, Jenny comes back, and they don't have much time together, right? But the moments that they hold are so special that it carries them through the rest of each other's life.
Right.
Right.
Don't say it like that. You guys still have a lot of time
It's
together.
so
Yeah.
funny because 정님 actually sent a message saying 속 시원하게 얘기하시니 보는 제니가 더 시원해요. Good vibes, good vibes.
So they know that they're called Jennies.
Yeah. So I
Ah.
call them my queens and kings. And then I had mentioned on a program that, about Forrest Gump and how I felt like a Gump.
Right.
And then they're like, well, we are your Jenny.
Yeah.
And you can sit next to me for eternity.
I think it's really nice that you're very honest about it too, that the Jennies are also lost and they only feel complete like through, you or Gump.
Right.
Right, yeah. So unless we can let go of everything and we just hold hands at just like
A bus
like
stop or something.
yeah, without any calculation.
Uh-huh.
You know what I mean? As one human being to another.
Very
just,
pure.
yeah.
relationship.
And then you can hold hands and then you can go out and you can make a living, you could do the work and whatnot. If you have that relationship where you would come home or you would go find that friend that you could just be yourself. You know what I mean? You don't have to front anything.
Right.
And I think we all need that.
Right.
Yes, we do. Yeah.
Yeah, we absolutely need that, right? Otherwise, we can't breathe.
그렇죠. But I'm really happy for you because, you know, even off here we were talking about how like 6 years ago you were still suffering about this and that. But now you made a big comeback. To the point, there was one point me and like Chris PD님, wherever we go, we see you in a 영어 학원 광고, bus, 지하철, everywhere you can make a big comeback.
Yeah.
So does it feel surreal for you? or-
Absolutely. I can't really get used to this, and it's like a dream for me, right? And my journey is what they're doing is like whatever commercial I do, they blow that item up so that it runs out literally.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, right?
Nice.
And that's what happened with the album. Like as soon as it came out,
Yeah.
they didn't hear it. They just bought it.
Right. Pre-order even.
Pre-order.
Yes.
So it sold out in pre-order.
Wow.
Right.
Right? Same with like the book that when I released my book.
Oh, you have a book out. as
Yeah,
well.
I had a book out. That was the first thing that came out, right?
Okay.
Right.
And it became a bestseller before anybody, had a chance to read it.
Yeah.
So my journeys are just like, okay, whatever you do, they mean it when they say, we got you.
Right.
You know what I mean? I'm like,
Yeah.
wow, right? And so the relationship that I have with my Jenny, it's just literally like Gump and Jenny, right?
Tom and Jenny.
Yeah,
of
and
Forrest
so
Gump.
I'm their Gump and they're my Jenny, and I think we all need this, right? And so I wanna put out an album where we talk about the most common denominator that we have. And because we have the most abundant amount of this, it's just pain,
Yeah. Right.
right? And so, like, if I don't have any money, how am I gonna share money with you? Right? So we share what we have plenty of, right? And like sharing and giving one another is kind of different. Like if I give you something and I don't have it, then I'm at a loss, right? But if you give you something, I have it and you have it, then it's a gain.
Sure. Net positive. Right.
Right?
Yeah.
So I give you my pain, you give me your pain, and then it became less pain. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like if I play a song by myself, that's completely different from I give you gotta hear the song and we enjoy it together. Right? That's sharing, right?
we
so
need to
deep.
share this song too. This pain, this love with of our other listeners as well. We'll be back in part 4 to wrap up. But first, this is your favorite song of the album.
Exactly. We're gonna keep 선배님 here. We're not gonna let him go. So everybody stay tuned for part 4. We're gonna be right back after this song. This is one of his newest songs, Alibis. Welcome back to part 4 of K-Ride on TBS eFM, 101.3 in Seoul and surrounding areas and 90.5 in Busan.
Right, we are still in the studio right now with Yang Junil. We were not expecting to talk about what we talked about today.
너무 좋아.
아니, 대본 읽는 거 진짜 단 하나도 못 물어본 것 같고요.
Yeah.
We didn't expect to speak in English today either.
Exactly. So 통역 많이 못해줘서 죄송해요.
네,
때리지
죄송합니다.
마세요, 여러분. Right, but I mean, I learned so much even off air because we were talking about all this culture, about the showbiz and everything, and he's giving us so much advice.
You speak a lot in metaphors and also speak a lot in, did you see this movie?
맞아요.
Right. Yeah, because it's hard to express something in words,
Right.
right? Because and we need like a narrative or a setting for us to actually even start to taste what we're supposed to taste.
Right.
Right?
Right.
And so I like movies, and it takes a whole movie and a lot of money and talent to deliver one message.
Right.
Exactly.
Right?
Yeah.
And so I like to refer back to it. We were actually talking about, I don't know, can we say the name of
Yes,
the
you
movie?
can. Yes.
Yeah. We were actually talking about Interview with a Vampire with Brad Pitt
Yes.
and Tom
Right.
Cruise. And we were saying, what was the theme with the movie?
Right.
Right?
Yes.
And Lestat, Tom Cruise plays Lestat,
His character.
and he keeps creating other vampires because he can't adjust to the changing times.
Right.
Right.
Yeah.
And he needs the next generation to guide him, right? And we were just talking about, we really need like I'm 52 now.
Sure.
Are you a vampire? You look so young.
I'm 52 now, and I look at you guys, right? And it's so refreshing. You guys are like fresh flowers.
Oh, really? 저 이미
Yeah.
썩은 잔디인데요.
And it's so good to see, right? And you guys will lead the next generation, right? And unless we're talking about things that are beyond the physical, right? Then, because you guys are already physically superior than me and whatnot, if I'm only talking to you about physical things, I got nothing to say.
Okay.
Right?
Right.
But if I'm talking to you about the spiritual things or things that are beautiful in this world,
Yes,
right?
Those are long lasting.
Yeah, those things are eternal, right? Even though it may seem so fragile, right? And when you're young, you think the only thing that's good is something steady and strong, but the
Right.
things that are really beautiful are the fragile things, right?
맞아요.
And they need your protection. Right?
Yes.
Yeah.
So stay vulnerable, stay delicate. Is
Absolutely.
What you're saying. Yeah.
Absolutely.
Willing to get hurt and hurt and all
I
that.
feel so 충전 about this.
I do
Thanks.
as well. We do have to say goodbye, but before we do you want to say anything to your kings, your queens, your Jennies out there?
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. My queens and kings, my Jenny님들, I want to say I love you when I have the chance. Otherwise, I don't want to regret it, right?
Right.
And so, you guys are my, you guys are my water for the flower. You are my air. You are my bodyguard. You are my real estate. I love you guys. I thank you so much from the bottom of my heart. You make me much more than I am. Thank you so much.
Aw. One last request. Any advice for any artist who are struggling?
Yeah, that struggle is what's gonna make you the artist. Yeah, just accept it, enjoy it, let it become a part of you, so that whenever you express yourself, it just follows out with it. You know what I mean?
Right.
Yeah, that artistry only comes through pain, I think.
Ah,
Right.
big pain.
Yeah.
Right.
너무
I definitely
좋아요.
learned so much today.
Right.
너무나 감사합니다. Thank you so much for coming and gracing this studio with your words.
Exactly. And thanks for staying up here and also off-air talks for us to recharge us.
Thank you for your invitation. I enjoyed it very much. You guys are doing a great job.
아닙니다.
Thank
you
you.
so much for being here.
Yeah.
We're going to say goodbye to you with a song by V2. This is Fantasy. Thank you so much and hope to see you again.
Okay.
Bye-bye.
Bye.